What's going on, P-Dub Nation? We got March Madness underway. Started off with a 2-0 sweep in the first four last night. UNC minus 4.5. We gave it to you for free. And then we had that crazy finish in the Alabama State game. We got a little break there. And that's a good way to start off March. We love when the breaks go our way. Get the game winner there. Game stays under 139. Scott, 2-0 college basketball night, 3-1 night overall. Hit the big 5-unit play as well. Momentum, feeling good heading into this tournament coming up.
Yeah, great night last night. We snuck that one out in the early Alabama State game. What a finish. 3 seconds left, full court throw, way to start March, and we sneak under the 139. So good start for us in March Madness. And hey, real quick, it still shows 3 people waiting. So I don't know if we're live. I think we are, right?
Yeah, I think we're live. We should be. It says we've been live for 55 seconds. So hopefully that's
okay,
the
cool.
case.
Sorry about that. Anyways, yeah, great night. Really a walk in the park as far as our under is concerned in that Nuggets, Bucks Warriors game. Under 227, didn't even get to 200 points. So great night last night. Great night last night. Momentum is high going into March, and that's exactly where we wanted it. So pumped about March, pumped about today, and pumped about this show. That's for sure.
Yeah, you and me both. We got a lot cooking up for you guys here. We will have another first four free bet for you guys in this matchup between Xavier and Texas. And then we will go through this bracket a little bit. Scott and I are each going to give you guys some of our favorite reads that we have in each region. We'll talk about some teams who potentially are on upset watch for what we could have going on there. And then we'll give you guys some of our final four projections. So we'll touch a little bit on each bracket. But first, let's go ahead and start it off with tonight. We got a nice matchup here. A Big East squad versus an SEC team, Xavier versus Texas. And both these teams pretty much needed down the stretch to get in this tournament. Xavier finished fantastic, 7-1 down the stretch. They lose to Marquette by 2 in the Big East tournament. You had this Longhorn squad who, you know, for a lot of the season had some brutal losses. They only went 6-12 in the SEC play. Obviously, the SEC, a very impressive season for them. But you had them show up in the conference tournament. They couldn't get it done against Texas, but they had a couple of big performances in the SEC tournament to get here. Ultimately, it's going to come down to offensive efficiency. I mean, this Xavier squad dominates three-point line. They dominate the free throw line, 2 very efficient ways to score the basketball. And when it comes down to points per possession, you got to love that matchup-wise tonight against Texas, Scott.
Yeah, for me, Texas, you know, kind of one-dimensional, right? I mean, Trey Johnson's obviously an absolute stud, right? But they go to him so often. The amount of shots and touches that he gets is very high percentage. Don't have that specific data on me right now, but it is so one-dimensional in my opinion. Trey, if they can contain Trey, I think there's absolutely no way Xavier doesn't cover this line and cover it easily. Now, Texas has had a good strength of schedule, and they beat some quality teams this year. But I love the momentum Xavier has. I love the way they're playing. So give me Xavier in the spot all day. Not even honestly, I'm very, very confident tonight Xavier gets into the big tourney and handles Texas. I'm not going to say easily, but I think they win by double digits. I really do think they win by double digits tonight if they contain Trey. Now, if Trey goes off, we had Texas early in the year where Trey went off and hit a game winner and he scored, I don't know, 35 points. If he's unstoppable, then we just tip our hats and say, Trey, you beat us. But if they contain Trey, game over, lights out, Xavier wins around 10, I think by 10.
Yeah, I see Jason in the comment here said Texas inconsistent. And that's kind of what we saw in that game against Tennessee. They took away Trey Johnson, didn't have much else outside of that. And he's a phenomenal talent. But sometimes with these great NBA talents, when we see at the college level, sometimes, you know, those NBA shots, those tough fadeaways, the mid-range, it's just not necessarily efficient. When you're playing a good team like Xavier, who plays with 5 guys, is a lot more. And in that game against Tennessee, some other guys did step up. Pope's had some big games for Texas down the stretch. Just don't think it'll be here tonight against Xavier. So that is our first 4 premium play. We have one more there, and we also have another NBA 5-unit platinum play. Hit those last 2 nights, a couple of big nights in a row. You guys don't want to miss out. There's links below in the YouTube description. Before we carry on to the rest of the show, Scott, why don't you go ahead and let these guys know about the DraftKings bracket. There's a link in the description for that as well.
Dude, I'm fired up about the DraftKings, and really there's been a low amount of interest in it. I think we're at 110 maybe people entered. We got $5,000 prize pool, 100% free. And I really want to go against you guys. I want you guys to go against us. I want to have some fun with it. I want to give away some hats to those that beat us. So please, if you have not entered the DraftKings pool, please do. Link is in the description on this video, like BA just mentioned. And come, let's have some fun with it. Talk some smack to us. If you got a lead over us, we're going to be doing these shows. So, right, you can come on and let us know where your standings. We'll ask for that. Hey, who's ahead of us? Raise your hand, talk your smack, do your thing, and let's have some fun with this. So please enter it. And really, it's just a community thing, 100% free. There's no cost. I'm going to repeat that. No cost to you, and you can win some money. So why not? And even if you are not in a legal state, I do want to mention it, you can enter this pool because it is free. So obviously you cannot bet if you're not in illegal. If you're in Texas or in California, obviously you don't have DraftKings, or even Nevada, you don't have DraftKings, but you can enter this pool. So
yeah, it's like you said, only 110 people in so far. That's good for you guys who have not joined yet. I mean, that's a good chance at coming up top of the prize pool. We all know these tournaments are these brackets are just a crapshoot as far as trying to. I saw the statistic the other day that to have a perfect bracket, you're more likely to select the correct grain of rice out of all the grain of rice in the United States. So just think about how absolutely ridiculous that is to have an actual chance to do it. So yeah, go ahead and join that. Good amount of people not being in favor for everybody. And Scott, I have here on my sheet, I don't know, obviously guys, we not like before we do these shows, we don't communicate really at all. So we do have the topics we want to go over. I have South bracket is at the top of my sheet here. I don't know if you have a bracket you want to start with here.
Oh no, let's go South, and let's let you lead the South, and I'll lead the next one. How about that? We'll go back and forth.
Sounds good. So guys, just to start it off, we're going to each give our top play that we have in this bracket, as well as, upset watch, and then who we have coming out. So for me, as far as my play, I really like in this, it's Marquette -3.5. Now, they fell short in the Big East Championship against St. John's. They struggled down the stretch, but they just don't beat great teams. They went 0-3 versus St. John's this year. They went 0-2 versus UConn. And this Marquette team takes care of business against everybody else. 22-4 as a favorite this season. You look at this matchup here, New Mexico. Now, granted, New Mexico did lead the Mountain West in scoring. They lead the Mountain West in turnover margin. But this Marquette team's a bit different. They're going to be 9th in turnovers in the country this season, 19th in steals. Marquette dominates turnover margin. And the closer you look at these two teams, they're very similar with slight edges to Marquette across the board. You got two teams with dominant point guards, Cam Jones and Donovan going for New Mexico. You got two teams who, like I said, love to take care of the ball, turnover margin, some defensive perimeter focus there. And Marquette, just a slight edge on all of those little pieces that both these teams do so well. And they've shown all year when they're the better team, they take care of business. And I'd expect that to continue here against New Mexico with Marquette coming up in this first game here.
So you did it. Did you do a sleeper? Is this an ATS upset in each round, or what is this? What
I did an ATS, a sleeper, and who I have coming out of each round. If we do we need to mix things up here?
I got one. Yeah, I only got one ATS sleeper and one sleeper, one ATS against the spread, and then the final 4 predictions. So my bad if I misunderstood our conversation. So you're going to give yours.
Wind up here.
You're going to give yours, and I'm going to give mine. So I don't have anything in the South.
Yeah, that is my favorite one on the tournament. And my favorite upset on the tournament as well will continue to go here. UC San Diego. Now, I know this is starting to become a little bit of a sharp look for some people. You still look at the public action, though. Michigan getting 70% of it. UC San Diego and Michigan are just polar opposites. You look at some of the strengths here. First off, they're a 30-win team, which is just impressive in itself. But you look at their strengths, and it's just all about the turnovers. They're first in the nation in turnovers. Michigan, 346th. They're 4th in the country in steals. Michigan, 319th. When you have a 4, 5, 6 plus on the turnover margin, those extra possessions start to become really difficult to make up. You also look, they're way better at the three-point shooting. They're 8th in three-point made field goals per game. Yes, we know Michigan, they got the two-headed monster in Golden and Wolf. We also know they have the great guard play with Donaldson. But at the end of the day, it's going to come down to the turnovers, the extra possessions. You look at the guard play on the UC San Diego side, Tate Jones and McGee, both phenomenal, scoring 19 plus, 16 plus points per game. You got some wings, some good size there at the wing position. So yes, Michigan down low, but you have some good wing size there for UC San Diego. Maybe a bit of a letdown also for Michigan. I mean, I don't know how many of you watching had Michigan coming out of the Big Ten. Personally, did not see them going and winning that tournament. So they got hot at a weird time there. We'll see if that carries over to March. But I just think their balloon popped a little bit too early. We saw that with Michigan State, who just tearing teams up down the stretch of the season, fell short there down the stretch trying to get into the Big Ten championship, losing to Wisconsin. And I imagine we see something similar with that matchup. Scott, go ahead and give us your ATS, your underdog. First, I don't know if you have any thoughts on those two, if you line up at all.
No, I mean that's just been a sharp look for a lot of people. UC San Diego, right? I mean, small school. I'm in Southern California. I honestly didn't go to any UC San Diego games, but best ATS team in the country, like you mentioned. Very tough spot or tough look for Michigan. So I do like that side there. I'm not big on Michigan, right? We backed Wisconsin in the championship game a few days ago on Sunday. They got who's the Russian big? What's his name? I do like him for Michigan, but as far as their guard play, they do have Trey Donaldson. He's solid, but I'm just not big on Michigan. So I do like the side you're leaning there. But for myself, I'm going to the team we backed last night. Sneaks into the tournament. Most people think they don't even belong. They come in, they fucking whack San Diego State like they weren't even on the court last night, 95-68. And that it was way worse than that score, right? And they're supposed to be a great defensive ball club. We were on UNC, thank God, -4.5 for the blowout winner. And I'm going right back to them. So now they come in, they're actually the favorite in this game, ATS, but they're the 11 seed, and I think they have a decent road to make a little bit of a run here. So they've got the momentum coming in, right? They just beat San Diego State. They just played. They're coming in, cloud nine. RJ Davis, he's had some experience in the tourney himself. Great first-round matchup. So here's the key. Ole Miss, heavy on the defensive side. I don't think they're going to be able to contain North Carolina's offense. I really don't. I think they're going to have issues. I think their defense is just not going to be able to contain them. So their transition offense for North Carolina should cause problems for Ole Miss as well. So now, if they get by Ole Miss, they got Iowa State on deck. So you're talking about a team sneaking into the first four, could potentially go to the Sweet 16. Iowa State has injury problems. Gilbert not going to be playing in the tournament for Iowa State. Not a huge fan of this team as well. I do think that UNC matches up very well against Iowa State. So I see them getting past Ole Miss in round one as their favorite, and then they'll probably be a slight dog. Yes, probably a 3 to 4 point underdog to Iowa State in round two on Saturday or Sunday, whenever they play.
Iowa State being without Gilbert, just such a big loss for this tournament. So I agree with you. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, long shot upset. Lipscomb there. I mean, just ISU. I was so high on them early in the year, but being without Gilbert hurts them. So definitely, if it's that UNC ISU matchup, agree with you completely.
Right, and I mean, 11-5 or historical 11 seeds advance to the Sweet 16 and 15 of the last 20 tournaments. So we have seen some 11 seeds make some runs. I really think they're the most equipped to do it. And again, most people didn't think they even belong in this tournament. I think they've got the leadership. I think they've got the experience to make a run in this tournament. So Ole Miss, great matchup in game one without Gilbert, and Iowa State in game two. I think they're in the Sweet 16. So that's kind of my dog to make a little bit of a run in the tournament. So give me UNC round one against Ole Miss and move on against Iowa State in round two.
I like that. I didn't carry on there with UC San Diego, but I agree as just as far as looking on into the round of 32. I mean, they would match up with likely A&M. There is the chance Yale gets another upset against the SEC squad like they did last year against Auburn. Sorry, guys, got a phone call there. But this UC San Diego team will match up really well with A&M as well. I mean, A&M just not quite there on the offensive side of the ball. And obviously they lead the country in offensive rebounding. They're really solid defensively, and that's what it's been there. But we've seen it time and time again. You need elite guard play and the ability to score from the perimeter to succeed in this tournament, as UNC showed last night in that matchup against SDSU. I mean, what they shoot 58% from three. If you get hot from deep at the right time, I mean, it's tough. You can really catch some steam.
100%. Hey, why don't we transition, if you're good with it, we'll transition to our best ATS, our best ATS pick for the show for round of 64, and then we'll go into the Final Four predictions. You good with that?
Yep, I'll go with it, man. Go ahead and lead that one off.
All right, so I've got a couple here, and I'm going to choose one. All large spreads in round one, tough to back some of these 1-2 seeds in round one. Are they going to get up for this game? They're going to come out and should handle business, and then kind of maybe potentially let that cover slide at the end. I see this as a complete mismatch. And I'm not a huge Tennessee fan. Yes, I'm backing Tennessee against Wofford. I'm not a huge fan of that team. I don't think they're going to make a deep run. I really don't into the tournament, but this is huge problems for Wofford. So Tennessee ranks third in defensive efficiency, 89 points per game, or 89 points per 100 possessions. Wofford, completely a slow-paced team. They're not going to be able to put the ball in the basket against Tennessee. Tennessee, obviously, battle-tested, and going into a mid-major like Wofford. Wofford played one major opponent this year, Duke. How many points did they score? 35. 35 points. So if they have a repeat performance, I guarantee a 16.5 point spread, a 15.5 point spread, Tennessee scoring 52 points, right? Tennessee's defense is just as strong, if not stronger, than Duke. So I don't see Wofford scoring 45 points in this game. So I think it's going to be a very, very easy cover for Tennessee in round one. Now they're going to have their problems in this tournament, but it's definitely not going to be in the first round. Give me Tennessee to cover easily against Wofford in round one.
Yeah, big line there. I'm lined up with you there. I mean, a lot of people, when you guys think March Madness, think all the upsets, all the dogs, and there is some truth to that. But in reality, in this early round of 64, I mean, you get some really, really mismatched teams. And obviously in college basketball, you see these big numbers. I mean, we see some 30-point spreads that we have going on later in this round of 64. Complete mismatch there with Tennessee. And that's going, right along here, a 3 seed. I'm really high on Texas Tech at minus 14.5, up to 15.5 at some spots, up against UNC Wilmington. This team, I mean, just 6th in offensive rating, 37th in defensive rating, really big wings. Toppin and Williams are two top scorers, 6'9" and 6'6". When you face these mid-major schools, and don't get me wrong, UNC Wilmington does have some size. They have a 7-footer, but that's usually a big advantage, the size. But people think of that just in the interior. It really comes to play on the perimeter. And you think of a team like Auburn, for example, who has Boom, just one of these really big forwards who's able to handle the ball on the perimeter, gets them to post up in the mid-range. And it's going to be a similar mismatch nightmare there. You look at Texas Tech and how they closed out the season, had some big games. Really, I mean, a tough conference in the Big 12, probably not getting as much respect as it could. Actually, I want to get in a little bit of a conference discussion after this, but high on the Big 12 overall. Impressed with what we saw there offensively. UNC Wilmington, 184th in defensive rating. I just don't think they're going to be able to keep up. Now, offensively, they have some shooters, and they could in that regard. Just think Texas Tech is truly one of the best offensive teams in this tournament, and they're going to have an absolute – when they get going, I mean, it's just too tough to stop. And we've seen that in some of their contests, even in their matchup in the Big 12 tournament against Baylor. We saw the three-point shooting fall off. Wouldn't be surprised. That's the one thing if they don't cover this line. They do get streaky. Hope we don't see that here, but really like Texas Tech. And I do think there's going to be some good value, like you said, on Tennessee, on a few of these double-digit favorites. Books just not valuing them enough.
100%. I'm right there with you. I line up with Texas Tech. I think Texas Tech's going to have an interesting game, as I'm going to get into with the Johnnies in that second game when they play them. So, in the Sweet 16, they're going to have an interesting game with the Johnnies. I see them both getting there. So I'm looking forward to that game, but we'll talk about that here in a minute. So I'm going to let you, you want to get into our Final Four predictions?
Yeah, let's go ahead and go in the Final Four. We touched a lot about the South, so let's go ahead and go right to it. I'm going chalk on the South. And just so you guys know, some facts on this, your national champion of the last 20 years have either been a 1 seed or out of the Big East, UConn, Nova for primarily. And then this one, I'm going with the 1 seed in Auburn. Now, this team, last couple of years, they fell short in March. It's kind of been a common theme. Last year, they win the SEC tournament, and they go ahead and fall short in round one. Obviously, the upset with Yale this year. They don't even make it to the conference championship. You have that fall short. This team really saw it on the offensive end. And they looked a little streaky, kind of out of sorts. You saw some struggle in the three-point shooting in the matchup against Florida. We'll see how they look here. They're 11th in defensive rating, really one of your best two-way teams. Probably the only team better both sides of the ball might be Duke. And obviously, they've been number one team all year. It's complete chalk. I understand with it. You look at the rest of this bracket, though, and that's really ultimately what comes down to it for me. You look at the top seeds in the South. You're looking at Hold on, let me pull up the list here. You're looking at Texas A&M in the 4 seed. Already talked about it. Their defense leads them, but offensively, they just can't keep up. Iowa State at the 3 seed. Now, if Iowa State was fully healthy, I think it's a respectable 3 seed. They're not fully healthy, and they're not going to be able to keep up with a team like Auburn. Just thinking the 3-4 region. Now, I will say Michigan State, arguably the best 2 seed. I think St. John's slightly better, but Michigan State right there. So that's their one threat will be Michigan State. Just love the way they match up. We saw Michigan State with the trouble stopping the 3-point shooting. Auburn, just inside-out offense, too efficient. It's chalk, but I like the 1 seed Auburn coming out of the South.
And I don't blame you. I mean, I'm right there with you for a minute, but I'm trying not to go chalk for the show. Trying to think outside the box here a little bit, and I get it. Chalk, I mean, Auburn's number 1 seed in the number 1 seed in the tournament. I'm going Michigan State. I'm a Tom. I love fucking Tom Izzo. I love the way he coaches. I love the way how fiery he is. He gets his guys ready. They'll be prepared. The guy's a mastermind. Coaching matters. It really matters, and especially in March, he's going to have his guys ready if they match up against Auburn in that Elite 8 game. So I'm excited about this Michigan State team. They're ranked 3rd in fast break points. They use their athleticism and speed, and they create a lot of easy scoring opportunities. But again, I know Auburn is a very, very tough matchup for them. But Michigan State ranks 5th in defensive efficiency. So they're excellent at limiting the 3. You just mentioned it. But yes, we did see them get exposed in that Wisconsin championship game, but that was out of the ordinary. That was an outlier for me. Is it going to happen again in this March Madness tournament? So they do defend the 3 very, very well. Yes, they may have some problems on the inside with Auburn and Brome, but they have a lot of balance. They have a lot of depth. They're deep. So to make a run in March, I believe that you need your bench to come up big, and Michigan State has a great bench. They're battle tested. One of the toughest schedules in the country. How many quad 1 wins do they have? We went over what a quad 1 is. Net rating 1-30 at home, 1-50 on neutral, 1-75 on the road. 16 quad 1 wins. They are battle tested. They've been through the gauntlet. So I think they're going to give Auburn a run for their money in the Elite 8. If that's the matchup that happens, give me Michigan State out of the South, and I'll see you in the Elite 8, BA, with that Auburn game.
Yeah, we'll see what goes there. Maybe we'll get a little personal wager going on if we get a nice little matchup there between those two. We'll see what happens.
Hey, we should probably watch that game live, probably on YouTube or something. You know what I mean? If it gets down to that, we may have to go live and do some live wagers. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that'd be a good time. By the way, guys, we will be live on Friday for I believe it's 4:00 Pacific, 7:00 Eastern slate of games there's going on Friday night. It's mainly, let's see here. Yeah, it's Florida, Norfolk, Troy, Kentucky, New Mexico, Marquette. So if you guys want to come catch us, we should be checking with us. We'll be live on Instagram to go back over that. But moving on to the next bracket here, we can go down to the West. And this one, you touched on how important coaching is. I mean, let's just first address this bracket is loaded with coaches alone. You got Rick Pitino, you got Coach Cal, you got Dan Hurley, Bill Self. I mean, just elite college coaches here. And of all those elite college coaches, I have the Johnnies and Pitino coming out. Now, I do believe that Florida is the best team in this tournament, so it's a little bit contradictory there. I just think it is too difficult to win the SEC tournament and turn around and show up and now make a run in the March Madness tournament. We saw with Auburn last year. They fell flat, got punched in the face essentially by Yale early on. Honestly, winning the SEC tournament is probably more difficult than winning March Madness. You have all these games on no rest, back to back to back to back. They're all ranked opponents. You don't get the layup that you get for Florida, Norfolk State in the first round. So you have that factoring into it. The Big East, can we please put some respect on the Big East? I've heard so much talk about the SEC, 14 teams, first time ever, historic. And I know there's data to back it. I know they have historic win records against the other power conferences. I get all of that. But the Big East has 8 of the national champions since 1999. Obviously, UConn coming off a back-to-back. You have this Johnny's team who is elite on the defensive end. Houston, highly regarded as the best defensive team. Tennessee, sometimes second. St. Johnny's, they're arguably better than both of them, but if not, at worst, they're the 3rd best defense in the nation. They will not get into a shootout with anybody. This will be competitive games. They're one of the best transition teams. And the best thing about transition offense, it doesn't go cold. It's not jump shooting. It's not like it goes, you go on a 3, 4, 5 minute shooting streak. When you're forcing turnovers, when you're getting out and running, you're getting to the rim, getting contact, getting to the free throw line. It's recession-proof offense, which is what you really want there for the Johnnies, and their defense is good enough to keep them in it all. And then obviously Rick Pitino, just to kind of come back on her Cinderella story in his second year here now with St. John's. It's going to be a tough matchup against Florida. Hot take, though, wouldn't be surprised if Florida gets caught early in the tournament in the round of 32 or the Sweet 16 by potentially a Maryland or an Oklahoma. We'll talk a bit more about that maybe later.
BA, we're lined up. I'm on the Johnnies as well, man. So real talk here, guys. I wasn't sold on the Johnnies. I literally was not sold on the Johnnies. And kind of BA, we've talked about it behind the scenes. He's kind of making me a believer. The more I watch them play, Pitino, the toughness that these guys play with, they play hard. And that's what I love about Pitino's teams. They play with intensity and hard. They got this chip on their shoulder. Lewis is a stud. Richmond, another stud. They got the bigs on the inside that play tough. Best defense in the nation, leads the country in defensive efficiency, holding opponents to 44% from the field, forcing turnovers at 17% on possessions. It's just the defense doesn't go away either. Transition offense, right? But defense doesn't go away either. RJ Lewis, the X factor, biggest player of the year, heart of the team. That guy's the leader, plays hard. I like his style of play, hard on the defensive end of the floor as well. Again, their toughness is unmatched. They're going to go in, they're going to grind, they're going to talk their shit. They got that New York street ball kind of field team, and that I like that style about them. So they're coming here, they're going to come in here and they expect to win. And that's what I like. The teams that they expect to win. They're coming in here and they're going to grind. Recent form, lost one game. And teams, again, coming into madness, we want them on a run, playing well. They've lost one game this calendar year in 2025. So they've been consistent as of recent, playing exceptional. And I saw personally, again, I came on one of the last shows or whatever, somebody asked specifically about Marquette and Johnny's. Full transparency. We didn't send it as a premium play, but I was leaning hard to Marquette, and they got waxed. They got run out the gym in the second half like no other. First half, they came out hot. We're up 15 early, and Johnnies are chilling. They perform well when they're behind, and they came, and I think they won by 15 plus in that game anyway. So 30-point swing outside of the first 10 minutes of the game. So give me the Johnnies out of the Midwest. We lined up there, BA. Maybe we should go future. Should we combine a future on the Johnnies to win it all? I mean, I don't have them winning it all, but hey, we line up here. You never know.
Yeah, it might be worth a look. We can get a little P-Dub Nation play on that.
I said Midwest. I meant the West. Excuse me.
Yes, the West. Shout out to the Johnnies. Shout out to the Big East as a whole. They've been doing great in March Madness for years. And just a little side note, I mean, college basketball looking on in the future, guys. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to how the NIL is going and how schools can pay teams. And, certain teams or certain schools are going to pay players directly with, allocated funds. It's separate from NIL money. These schools without football programs, hint, hint, the Big East, they're going to be able to pay their basketball players a lot of money, and it's going to become a little bit of a hot seat there for all these, top prospects who want to go where they can get the most money. So something to look on to for the future there. But Scott, why don't you get us started here? I believe we are on to the Eastern bracket here. Duke's the 1 seed. Is that who you have coming out, or did you go a little bit of a sleeper pick here?
I love Duke, and I know it's so chalk, and I know I bet 99.9% of the brackets in the East have Duke. And I mean, obviously we had Duke in the championship against Louisville, laying 6th, no flag, no Brown. I mean, they're so good. They're so good. And in my opinion, they're the 1 overall seed. Auburn's the 1 overall seed, correct? The number 1 overall seed is Auburn, yes. Correct? Yes. So I have Duke as the number 1 overall seed. They're just polished, man. They're very, very polished. So yeah, I've got Duke coming out. I mean, I can get into the numbers, but I think we all know for the most part, I mean, how good they are. Cooper will be back playing at a high level as a freshman, National Player of the Year candidate. Their depth is exceptional. Anybody coming off the bench is a freaking stud and literally could fill any gap for the most part. So they're tough to argue here. Anyone besides Duke. I mean, Bama, they're athletic, but their defense is just going to hurt them. Duke's going to take advantage of that. They're just going to, honestly, I see if that's the matchup in the Elite Eight, I see Duke handling that game very easily. I think they really truly have a walk in the park. Mississippi State against Baylor, that would be in round 2 potentially. Maybe Zona could give them a run for their money, but I don't think so either. And then you get into that game against Bama in the Elite Eight potentially. I don't know. I think they have a pretty easy road to the Final Four. That's my opinion.
I'm lined up with you here. I mean, Duke, what are they? 3rd in defensive rating, 3rd in offensive rating. I mean, it's just an elite team. And I see Sexton said it here in the chat. If Flag is healthy, and I literally wrote that here on my notes for this. Duke comes out if Flag is healthy, and that's a big question mark. So, obviously there's coach speak and the reports that he's going to play, he's going to be good to go. We don't fully know that, and we'll see how they look here in the round of 64. We'll see how Flag looks and opening things up. I will say that is going to be their most difficult game. Sometimes when you have a star player come in and out, and obviously there's complete lopsided as far as athletes, everything you want to name up here coming for Duke. But that is your toughest game, is getting Flag in. We saw it a little bit in the conference tournament first game there without him. Sometimes you see these teams start off slow. They're trying to do too much. When a guy comes back, sometimes they're forcing it. Sometimes he's not right, so it throws the team off not right. I'm not going to go crazy here and say they get upset in round 1, but I will think that'll be their toughest game, and we'll be able to get a good read on it. Outside of that, if he's healthy, if this team's at full strength, the numbers speak for themselves. This team's absolutely elite, both sides of the ball. I do not have them winning it all, but I do think they're a Final Four. I have 2 1 seeds making it to the Final Four, and that's them and Auburn, who, quite frankly, have just been the 2 best teams in college basketball all season. And Florida's starting to get some high praise and being put in that conversation in the last few weeks. But those 2 good teams have been the top dogs all season long, and I think that continues through the March.
So Jason makes a comment here, and I'm just going back to the comments because I do want you guys to engage with us, but Duke chokes too many freshmen. In my opinion, though, when you get into March, and I know March is a different beast, right, than the conference tournaments, but when you get into March and you got 40 games under your belt almost, you're no longer a freshman, right? You've played in, especially Duke, they've played in some difficult arenas. You've been through the gauntlet. You are no longer a freshman, in my opinion. Yes, I understand March is a little bit different, but you've played in some difficult situations and some difficult games. In my opinion, your experience now, you're ready for March. So I just do disagree with that statement. But again, I want you guys in the chat engaging with us, ask some questions, and we'll happily answer them on specific games. But what do you think about that comment?
Yeah, I will say, to Jason's credit, I mean, that's one reason I really like Auburn, is because they're the 20th oldest team, I believe it is. They're just one of the most experienced teams in college basketball, so I do like that for them. But again, like you said with Duke, it doesn't really matter when you're just that much better. And yeah, sure, maybe Cooper Flag hasn't played in March Madness before. Guess what? That dude was playing with Kevin Durant, LeBron James, and Steph Curry, training for that team with the Olympics over the summer. I mean, you name big games, big TVs, big basketball courts where you walk in and there's Hall of Famers, billionaire Hall of Famers on the court next to you, and you're sharing the basketball, you're sharing the court. They've been in these moments. So it doesn't worry me. Yes, in prior years, that's been a bit of cause of concern. We have seen some of these younger teams have some issues. We've seen that with really in the last couple of years with Kentucky, really also. I mean, just these typical blue bloods not necessarily having as much success. This Duke team's the best Duke team we have seen in a while. And I think with Cooper Flag at the helm, they got to bring that name back.
I'm right there with you. I'll let you start on the Midwest. In my opinion, the weakest section of the tournament. That's my opinion. This is by far the weakest.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. It is by far the weakest. You look at some of these matchups. I mean, there's just one. I want to say Xavier and Texas is going tonight. We obviously were on Xavier. That's our I wouldn't be surprised if Xavier makes a run in this bracket. I mean, that's really how weak it is. Kentucky, they've just been banged up all season. No faith in them. Tennessee, they're elite on the defensive end, just never really able to take over a game offensively. Think that's going to ultimately be their downfall. And obviously Houston, elite defensively. the best team in the bracket on paper. But I think this bracket's up for grabs. I wouldn't be surprised to see a team like Gonzaga or Xavier, an 8 or an 11 seed, find the Final Four. But I'm settling with Clemson coming out of the Midwest. This team, they've shown they can beat the best of the best. They beat Duke on their home floor earlier this season. Granted, we all know the home edge college provides, and that's a massive home edge that Clemson has in their arena. But you just look what they do on both sides of the ball. Elite three-point shooting. When you knock down the triples, keeps you in any game in March. Defensively, one of the top defensive teams that we're going to see in this tournament. Ironically, they're matched up with some pretty good defensive teams in this bracket with Houston and Tennessee. But I think their offense is better than both of those teams. So it comes back to that. Battle tested, as we've talked about. Preseason, some big wins as well. Non-conference, in-conference. Really like this Clemson Tigers squad. We see it with Chase Hunter. I mean, what he did last couple of years in March Madness, he's had some big performances. He had a big ACC tournament scoring 20-plus in multiple games. This Clemson team, they're pretty seasoned. They've been here. They flirted with it last year, and I think they get it done this year. They come out of the Final Four here in the Midwest.
I mean, I definitely don't see that happening personally. But, I mean, it's a 5 seed, so you're taking a shot there. But it's by far the weakest region. I mean, if the committee, it's a little bit frustrating. There's no shot, in my opinion, for any team to win the national championship out of the Midwest, in my opinion. But I am going with Houston, but I'm not confident in my selection, to be honest. I don't love this Houston team. Obviously, they're elite defensively. I just talked about it. Defense doesn't sleep, right? You could be off on any day from jump shooters and threes and teams that rely on the three, but defense never sleeps. They will be in any game that they play. But again, the Zags are going to give them a game in round 2. I've got the Zags advancing against Georgia. The Zags are going to give them a tough game, right? I'm not confident in Kentucky either. Great point, BA. I'm not confident in Tennessee. I stated it earlier. Yes, they're going to smoke Wofford, but I mean, I'm not confident in them either, right? So that's just a weak division, top to bottom. I don't see Purdue, 4-seed Purdue, even advancing through the first round. They have choke artists historically. FDU beat them as a 16 seed. They were a 1 seed 2 years ago. I see High Point beating them. So as I go down this bracket, I mean, to me, Houston, I'm not going to call it a walk in the park, but again, the weakest region. And being so strong defensively, they're going to be in every game. They do have momentum. They're one of the hottest teams in the country, 26-1 since December. So they come in again, right time, right spot with momentum. Again, we talk about favorable matchups, weak region. So I've explained that pretty handily. They defend the perimeter defense very, very well. Give me Houston to come out of the Midwest and take care of business.
We'll say Houston always has really good defensive squads. This is one of the best three-point shooting teams they've had in a while, so that does scare me a little bit. See it, though, here from Jason in the chat saying they hardly cover against the spread. And it's a big tell sign, right? When you're consistently performing under the market, you're consistently being overvalued by the sharpest computer models in the world that they have in Vegas. Just a little bit worrisome for me there. Even some sign. I mean, against Colorado in the Big 12 tournament, they fell flat, let Colorado sneak back in, and they never really could put away a bad Colorado team. So we'll see how they show up in this one. But yeah, I don't hate it. I mean, it's to me after Clemson. I mean, Houston's clearly the best team in this bracket. It's just more so of an execution factor down the stretch. We'll see what ends up happening there.
100%. I hate the way the committee did that, in my opinion. There's no shot that Houston advances even in the Final Four if they do get there, or anybody out of the Midwest. I mean, so a little bit frustrating there for me as they release the brackets right away. Midwest, weak.
Yeah, so, I mean, 3, 6, 4, and 7. Kentucky, Illinois, Purdue, and UCLA. I mean, just brutal. UCLA is one of the worst Big Ten teams, maybe the worst Big Ten team in it. Kentucky, I mean, we saw it all season long. Their defense can't be trusted. They're too banged up. Illinois, if you go look at the advanced analytics, just completely fraudulent. The worst defense, arguably, in this tournament out of the Big Ten. It's those groupings of seeds there, 3, 4, 5, 7. Tennessee's legit. I don't want to be caught disrespecting Tennessee, but those mid-pack seeds, it's a cakewalk.
Again, inconsistent. Tennessee's been, in my opinion, inconsistent. So yeah, it's just a little bit frustrating, but it is what it is. Give me Houston out of the Midwest. So my Final Four: Houston, Michigan State, Duke, and the Johnnies. That's my Final Four.
We're lined up on Duke and the Johnnies, and then I also have Auburn and Clemson, a sneaky pick there. We'll see if we get a little 5 seed sneak in. If you guys have any Final Four predictions you guys want to drop in the chat right now, go ahead and let us know. Any final questions, please go ahead and drop those as well. Scott, one more time, why don't you let them know about the March Madness bracket for anyone just joining, and also what we have going on promo-wise today.
Yeah, DraftKings, $5,000 prize pool. I want you guys entering. Again, I want to give away these proven winner hats for anybody that beats us, right? So I want you guys to talk your smack, talk your shit, come on these shows, really make it a community feel. So again, it's no charge, 100% free. Any state can enter, even if you are not in a legal state, because this is considered a pool, right? And in a pool, and it's free, you can enter. So you can make an account on DraftKings with the link provided in the description below. So enter, talk your smack to us, beat us, get a free proven winner hat. Let's have some fun with it. You can win some money. First prize is $1,500, so no cost. Might as well enter and get in a pool with us. We do appreciate you guys always supporting us and tapping in here. So it's pretty cool to be in the same little bracket as you guys. As far as tonight's concerned, we have another $5,000 platinum play. It is an NBA play. It is backed with the rest of the week, so you will get round 1 and round 2 if it doesn't go our way, but I don't see that happening. You will get NBA as well, so the entire rest of the week is free if we don't cash. So very confident in this play. Was confident last night. We beat the line by over 30 points on the total, and this is another total in the NBA. We're seeing the total side of the house real well in the NBA, so we went back to the well. And so if you want to ride with us, and I suggest that you do, and you bet your 5% and your 5-unit amount like we are, and let's cash this bitch.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how streaky our NBA totals have been this season. In February was like our most profitable bet. We had moments in January was our most profitable bet. In February, we couldn't hit a total, and now those are right back hot. So absolutely love it. We've been a couple of big days for premium, a couple of days with the free play winning. Let's keep it rolling for P-Dub Nation.
Yep. Xavier -3 is our free pick again in that first 4 game against Texas tonight. We went over that at the beginning of the show. You can go back and watch it after we get out of here. This is available on the YouTube channel. It never goes away. So please feel free to watch this back and leave some comments after the fact. If you watch it back and we made an opinion that you didn't like or whatever, drop it in the comments. We will definitely happily respond. And that's kind of what we're going for here. So we do appreciate you guys tapping in. BA, you got any final thoughts here as well? That's all I got.
Nope. Everyone tuning in, obviously you're gamblers, and this is a hectic, action-packed couple of weeks coming up. Whether you guys are on premium or not, wish all of you guys the best of luck. Hope all you guys take the books money. It's us versus the books. Don't forget that.
And Friday we will have a live show like BA mentioned. So what time did we decide on that show?
I think for that, there's like a 4-game slate where they all start within 30-35 minutes, and at 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 Pacific.
Yeah, so we'll post it on the story once we make that final call. But we will be live. We will be live betting. BA will be betting probably on DraftKings or FanDuel. I'll be on Bovada since I'm in California right now, and we'll be live betting right there in action with you guys. And you guys can get down with us, make your opinions with us, whether you want to ride or not. But it'll be a lot of fun. I got 4 TVs right in front of me in my office. And BA's got a cool setup too. So it'll be a lot of fun. So I suggest that you guys just pay attention for that and check it out in the story for the link and the updated time.
Appreciate all you guys who always tune in and show support. Let's have a big March.
Let's have a big day, a big March. 5-unit play tonight, 4 premium plays. We gave one of those premium plays to you for free. Let's show the money tree. Why not?
That thing's lucky, man. That thing's lucky.
Exactly. Let's keep showing that thing. Come on, baby. Hey, let's touch it. Come on. But we're a team against the books, right? And so when you're riding with us, we ride with you guys, and we want to make money together, and that's literally what we do long term. So thanks for believing in us. Thanks for trusting us, and we'll see you guys on Friday. Let's go, P-Dub Nation.
See you guys. Good luck. All right.
We off? Bro.